Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about this Young Dolph case, man. Now, this weekend, there were two new persons of interest added to the Young Dolph case. There was one guy by the name of Devin Burns, and then another gentleman, right? Now, both of these guys were looking at or being sought after by the Memphis PD at the time, right? Now, Devin Burns, it seems like Memphis PD was able to catch up with him quickly because he's already been arrested in this case. Now, the other guy that was involved in this was another guy by the name of Joshua Taylor. Now, at this time, Joshua Taylor, it seems like he's still, I'd like to say at large, but I don't think there's any charges being pressed against him. It seems like they want to ask him some questions or whatnot. But man, before we get to the specifics of what's going down with the gentleman they did catch, Devin Burns, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about this whole situation with this guy getting locked up, man. Now, there was a Fox News reporter from the local Fox News there in Memphis, and they put out a tweet early this morning, and it said this. It says, Young Dolph murder investigation update. Devin Burns, the man Memphis police named as a person of interest in the Young Dolph murder investigation, booked into 201 overnight. As I told you yesterday, he was wanted on unrelated charges of aggravated assault and theft. Now, to be perfectly honest, he couldn't have been on the run or something like Straight Drop allegedly was, or, going trying to dissuade the law or trying to evade the law, I should say, because dude was caught pretty quick. Like that was only like a day or so ago, 2 days ago tops, that the report that he was a person of interest went out, and now he's been arrested on these unrelated charges, right? Now, there's a news story that also went out after this post was put on social media. So let's take a look at that, because it goes a little more in depth. It says this in the headline. It says, a man named as a person of interest in Young Dolph killing arrested on unrelated warrant. Now, obviously, they're talking about this guy, Devin Burns, but the story starts off like this. It says, in Memphis, Tennessee, a person of interest in the murder of Young Dolph is now in custody on an unrelated warrant, records show. Devin Burns, 26 years old, along with Joshua Taylor, 26 years old, were named as persons of interest over the weekend. And I want to make sure that everybody gets what that means, man. That means they want to talk to them for some particular reason. That doesn't mean that they're suspects, because if there were suspects, a warrant came down and there were charges in this, it would say that. So maybe they want to just talk to them about where they were, or something that might even have to do with Young Dolph's side. We don't know at this time. But the story continues by saying this. It says Young Dolph, whose real name was Adolph Thornton Jr., was gunned down inside Makita's homemade cookies on November 17, 2021. Burns had an unrelated warrant for aggravated assault charges and a theft of property charge. According to the affidavit, on June 6, 2021, a Jeep Grand Cherokee was stolen from Watkins Automotive in the 5400 block of Elmore Road. Now, I don't know what that car has to do with the case, but there's been plenty of times we've seen a Jeep Grand Cherokee popping up in these different type of shootings, man. I mean, it's probably unrelated. We'll just say that, you know what I mean? But, you start to notice trends. And maybe that's just a car that's good for, I don't know. I'm not saying that he did it either, but let's continue. Now, on June 30th, Memphis police recovered the vehicle on Deer Forest Drive. The vehicle was towed to the city lot. So obviously they found the vehicle, what is that, almost a month later, maybe like 20, 23, 24 days later after, it had been stolen allegedly, right? Now, fingerprints lifted from the passenger window and two chemically processed pieces of paper inside were the same as the finger impressions belonging to Burns, the affidavit said. So obviously they had his fingerprints on record. And when they found these two chemically processed pieces of paper and they checked the windows, the passenger window, they found his fingerprints. And that's what led to the warrant or the affidavit in this situation, right? Now, the vehicle's owner told police he did not know Burns. So they're saying that, he didn't know him, there wasn't any relation, so obviously you stole it according to them, or allegedly you stole it. Now, on January 7th, the owner of a local salon and tax service on Park Avenue said she saw a man armed with a gun pacing back and forth in front of both businesses. Now, this is interesting, right? So January 7th, and I'm assuming since they left the year off, they're talking about this year. She's saying she saw a guy pacing back and forth with a gun in front of both of her businesses. So let's see. Now, according to the affidavit, he was making threats to kill everyone inside. He was later identified as Burns. So they're saying, dude is wildin', man. Now, if that isn't crazy enough, man, the story gets wilder, right? Now, this lady is obviously a business owner, an entrepreneur or whatever, and, she had no reason to hide anything, or it doesn't seem like she has any reason to lie. That doesn't mean this is true, and that doesn't mean that he's guilty of any of this, right? Now, the story continues by saying that the person was later identified as Burns, right? And the woman told police she saw Burns firing shots toward the businesses, according to the affidavit. Burns was arrested overnight and booked in the 201 Popular Records show. So 201 being the infamous jail there in Memphis. And the lady, she had no problem turning over that information, which is, she's a business owner. She's just minding her business. She sees something wrong. I mean, you can't blame her, And he and Taylor were only named as persons of interest to investigators and not suspect in the rapper's murder. So I'm wondering what this building or any of that has to do with Young Dolph. Why did they feel a need to include that? Maybe some of my Memphis folks can help me out in the comment section. Now, it also said last month, accused gunmen Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith were arrested and charged with crimes relating to the murder of Young Dolph. Smith obtained an attorney in February, and Johnson was assigned an attorney. And if you guys remember, Justin Johnson, or Straight Drop, everybody knows him as his rap name. He ended up getting a public defender who's a well-known attorney in the Memphis area. Like, he's defended a lot of different people. He was in the Lorenzen Wright case, I believe, where the NBA player was allegedly killed by his wife, like a murder for hire type deal. Interesting situation there, man. A lot of history with this guy. So we'll see how that works in his favor. The other guy, Cornelius Smith, he had the money, obviously, to get him an attorney, and he said, I'm going to just get me a lawyer. Now, what I still don't understand is, why are these two guys persons of interest? They're saying in this story that, they don't have anything to do with the murder per se, as far as they know, but why even include them? Why put this out there? Why have that information out there, man? So as this puzzle starts to come together, I'm pretty sure this is going to get even more interesting. And then you've already heard that in one prior case, one of the guys, the gentleman who was arrested, Devin Burns, was accused of, pulling out the blicky or the gun or whatever you want to call it, man, outside of a store and firing some shots towards the business, man, which is crazy because you never know who's inside of that place. It could be your family, man. That's wild, man. But we'll see how this thing plays out. Like I said, man, this is a story that keeps going, and as the details come out, they become even more significant. Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe. And hold up. What do you guys think about this, man? How do you think these guys play a part in Young Dolph's case, man? There's no specifics about it. Yes, the dude had a wild case in the past, but what does that have to do with Young Dolph? Like, between the two guys, man. Maybe there's more to this story that we'll find out, but what do you guys think? Tell me in the comment section. Now, with that, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell, so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content, and we out of here. Peace.